What's up, everyone? So how badly do you want to pay me $2,400 a year? And in exchange, I'll give you a web browser that was originally built and given away for free. That's not it. Hold on. There's a catch. I'm not done yet. In addition to that, my version actually spies on everything that you do. So I can sell that data and make even more money. In addition to that, it also tracks your location. It injects ads that I think will psychologically manipulate you the best in order to buy the product that I'm getting paid to shill to you. And again, it doesn't stop there either. It also builds a permanent profile on you so that even if you discontinue using the service, I could still sell that data retroactively after the fact. Sounds great, right? I mean, don't you want to sign up for that service? I mean, right off the bat, paying for a web browser that was free to begin with is kind of moronic at best. And that's kind of where we're at here. Like, what we're talking about today is just that, because that's kind of the nightmare that's coming into play. Yesterday, Perplexity actually just launched a new product that's an AI web browser, and this video won't be endorsing or an endorsement of said product. Like, if you haven't caught on to that yet, but the complete opposite of that. They're calling it Comet, and I'm calling it Clownware because that's actually what it is. At the end of the video, I'll actually show you how you can use locally hosted AI that keeps your data your own, and you can run it on your own computer. And I'm talking about those people out there that are using that CRT monitor from 1997. It runs on old hardware too. And I'll show you not only how you can actually include your own AI into an actual privacy browser, but also how to set it up. And not only is that method privacy preserving, but it also gives you the full control over it, and it's free. But like for now, let's get back to actually cooking this ridiculous product. The Perplexity CEO, who is this guy right here, and has a name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, because in that case, I'll sound as stupid as the product that they just launched and are trying to show. But he stated in a podcast that tracking everything you do online is the entire point of building this browser. I'm not even joking. You cannot make this up. It's really what he actually said. The actual quote was, "We're able to know what users are doing inside of Perplexity, but not what they're doing elsewhere." And that was the key reason to build Comet. Like, in all seriousness, like, screw this guy. This company wants your purchase history, travel details, browsing patterns, just everything to build ad profiles and diversify revenue making by turning you into a cash cow, and in more than one ways. You pay them $200 a month to spy on you, and they also get to sell your data. Google Chrome is free. Meta's browsing integrations are free. Perplexity charges premium prices for the same surveillance model that made literally everyone distrust those companies to begin with. So you would be paying $2,400 annually to have all of your digital activity harvested and monetized. Like I said, screw Perplexity. Seriously, like, now, based on his own comments, when people actually started flipping out about this, rightfully so, he tried backpedaling so hard that I sincerely thought like he was going to snap his metaphorical leg, right? And he started off saying that his comments were taken out of context, which is asinine and it's absurd. It would be like you pausing this video right now and going and seeing me make a comment that Comet was like this great thing in some other place. And my negative comments about Perplexity's Clownware here were just taken out of context. And like, now you see why I call it backpedaling, because it's really what it is at the end of the day. In addition to that, all of a sudden, there are like opt-out features and privacy modes that exist. It's just corporate damage control. None of the new features are actually meant to be useful to you, but rather to make you feel comfortable. It's kind of like handing out pillows in a torture chamber to kind of soften the chairs, or putting soothing music in a slaughterhouse so that the animals stay more calm. Like, those privacy controls are theater at the end of the day. They exist for one reason, so that you shut up and keep using their product. And nobody reads the terms of service. Obviously, it's very well known. Like, when's the last time you actually did? Well, I do. I read them because I'm not normal. I could cite 10 parts, but I'll keep it to 3. That way I don't go out of control. The first is when they say, you agree that Comet may monitor your use of the site to ensure quality, improve the service, and to verify your compliance. Essentially, this means that they already give themselves permission to track everything that you do right from the start. Privacy controls really don't actually change any of that, according to this language. Anyways, their own language. And they also buried this gem. We may modify the terms and our services at any time in our sole discretion. So what that means is they can change the rules whenever they want, however they want. And if you keep using the browser, then that means you already agree to it. So all of that kind of means that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. My favorite one is this last one. All provisions of these terms, which by their nature should survive, will survive. Now, that's legal speak for we keep your data even after you leave. And once they've built the profile on you, they keep it. Whether they say that to you or not, that's what they're doing. Now, mind you, this is all like their own documentation, all their own statements, their privacy policy. It's the default behavior, basically. And the default behavior is maximum data extraction. It's their own fine print that actually proves it. The entire fraudulent concept of the AI browser in general, to me, is trash. These companies push this narrative that their specialized browsers are somehow required for AI assistance during browsing sessions, and that is just false. Brave browser already supports local large language models running directly inside of it. And models like Qwen 0.5b are lightweight enough to actually operate on almost any machine produced in the last 5 years. Or in some cases, even computers that were like cutting edge further while back, like older. And again, that goes out to my CTR homies that are out there with their 80-pound monitors. But with Brave and Ollama working together, users can actually access full private AI tools, and that's with no subscriptions, right? Harvesting like of data, corporate middlemen, or cost for that matter. Like, can it plan a trip to France for you? Like, I haven't been able to do that, but like, it doesn't pimp me out to advertisers and for money. So that's good. I think that's kind of a fair trade-off. The setup process is also really easy. So first you go to Ollama's site and you download the application and you install it, and then you go pull the model you want to use. And you could pull as many as you like, but in this case, we're pulling one. And the vast majority of people should be able to run this with ease, like I said before. Connect it to Brave by opening up the Bring Your Own Model feature. And you do that by holding Control and hitting B on the keyboard. Or go to the Show Sidebar icon at the top. And here we can see a bunch of different options that we can actually select. And I think the most important ones are our ability to choose the actual default model that we will be actually using in the future. And this is where we can do that. If you scroll down, you'll also see the ability to connect self-hosted or like third-party LLMs if you wanted to use a specific service. Select Add Model. The first field that we see is a label. For this, you could put in almost anything. But this is what's going to show up when you go to select a model after hitting Control B. For this example, we'll just put Qwen. And the model request name is going to be the name that Ollama uses, which in this case is going to be Qwen 306B, basically. The server endpoint is just where our contact is in this case. And in this case, it's going to be basically the local host with a port number. If this doesn't work for you, you can replace it with the 127.0.0.1, which is also localhost. The context size is just a maximum number of tokens the model can actually handle in a single conversation or a prompt. And for this model, that number is 32,768. Next is the API key, which we'll skip because we're running it locally, because we're awesome and we don't have to use API keys. So the system prompt is just a default instruction or personality that you want. And for me, I'll put be concise, factual, and direct, and avoid lists. Since this model does not actually support vision, we're going to leave this as is. Next, click Save Model, and from that moment on, everything runs locally. Conversations stay on your machine. Nothing leaves your actual device. There's no hidden processes or siphoning data in the background, and this solution is so effective that it makes products like Comet, to some degree, look ridiculous. And naturally, Perplexity avoids actually mentioning things like this because in that case, there's nothing to sell when privacy actually remains in their hands. Now, their business model collapses the moment that people actually realize that other options exist. Now, I realize that obviously the difference between kind of these two products, in fact, is pretty great. And my example obviously excludes a lot of automation that is actually present in Comet, and I will absolutely concede that point. However, I think, as I said before, that the trade-off is absolutely worth it. The timing of Comet's release also makes everything kind of more transparent. Google is facing an antitrust lawsuit from the Department of Justice over Chrome's dominance in the browser marketplace. And some proposals even call for Google to actually sell Chrome. And all of a sudden, right, every AI company starts announcing their own browsers. Perplexity has already expressed interest in acquiring Chrome, which kind of says everything about their actual priorities. None of these companies are actually trying to build better browsers, right? They're assembling surveillance hubs, basically, and making users pay for the privilege of being spied on. They've realized that the whole browser methodology is kind of the most powerful data collection device in the digital ecosystem that you can have. Every search, transaction, page view, workflows, all of it goes through it. And whoever controls it controls kind of the entire flow of behavioral data and therefore the revenue attached to it. And even the AI features in Comet kind of reveal how shallow the offering actually is. Features like the tab management and the email summarization. They've existed for years through very basic browser extensions that exist and local tools that don't need to spy on anyone. The product being sold is the user's behavior, kind of packaged and auctioned to the highest bidder. And let's forget Facebook as the world's real ID database, which it is. This entire model is surveillance capitalism kind of finely tuned for maximum profitability, where unlike Facebook, the user actually foots the bill for the surveillance. And they figured out how to convince people to fund their own exploitation and surveillance and turn around and proudly call it innovation. And there'll be plenty of YouTubers who will be out here and they'll be ones that get access to exclusive access to it, which just means they're paid shills. And in turn are now shilling how great it is. And you'll see the same kind of nonsense with VPNs. A good rule of thumb is if you see a YouTuber shilling it, walk away. Don't buy it. I don't even want you to believe me. I'm absolutely a fan of people trying to prove me wrong. And the reason for that is because when they actually do it effectively, I get to learn something for free and no cost to me. I have no ego. So this pattern isn't limited to Perplexity either. I'm not just coming at them. Every major AI company is now pushing the same stupid $200 subscription tier. OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, all of them. Some more or less, but the vast majority somehow magically all landed on the same price point that says that there's nothing actually accidental about it. Now, the price itself is the marketing pitch. Charge enough and people assume that it's actually worthwhile. The idea, like if you want to reference it, is from research done by Rayo and Monroe back in 1989, and it's called price quality inference. And open source solutions keep advancing rapidly. Local models grow more and more capable every single month, and privacy-focused browsers continue adding AI functionality that has no surveillance. Furthermore, you have functionality in some of the tools like Anything LLM, for example, which is absolutely amazing, that lets you do things like summarize emails or notices via scraping, right? Anything LLM is totally free, and another solution that is totally local. Like, it allows for the creation of agents as well and workflows for them. It's sick. But anyways, the tools these companies are charging premium prices for are already becoming widely accessible to anyone actually willing to just invest a very small amount of time. AI-powered browsing could absolutely be remarkable. I think it would be revolutionary if it wasn't actually deliberately tied to surveillance. Research tools, article summaries, workflow management, like none of it actually requires giving up privacy. Like, these are capabilities that already exist through open source tools that keep the user in full control and their data in their hands. And I'm far from like a subject matter expert in AI or local AI for that matter. Like, but I'd love to know about any like local solutions that you know about. So please drop them in the comments. But every time someone picks a surveillance-based software over a private alternative, essentially they are voting for a future where privacy becomes a luxury. Surveillance ends up becoming the standard, and everything about their digital life becomes a product on someone else's balance sheet. And that is until a data breach happens. And a lot of these companies are actually coming out with these AI browsers, like I said before. Perplexity is the only one. And I see it as a gamble that if enough people are willing to pay to be surveilled, that most users will never actually discover alternatives, and that convenience will continue to outweigh any kind of concern for privacy. If they win, this market will shift permanently. The tech industry, as a possibility, will remove the distinction between privacy and convenience altogether. And at that point, it wouldn't be necessarily whether you're willing to trade privacy for ease of use, but it'll be about whether you're allowed to participate at all. We have the ability to vote with our dollars. It's the most powerful way to vote. And maybe it's just the agorist in me that loves that power. If we have nothing else, we have that ability. And it's going to be interesting seeing what people actually choose. And typically, it's not good decisions that they choose, but my hope is that they choose well, and that development on those open source projects continues to ramp up and evolve, and hopefully can crowdsource enough people to be able to knock these other projects out of the box, or make it so that what they offer doesn't come close to what the open source community can offer. So anyways, I saw this came out. I wanted to make a quick video on it. Thank you for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.